Okay, before we get to Congressman Steve King, over the weekend or late Friday, we found out that Hillary and Barack Obama exchanged emails. So classified, so top secret, we can't even see them. But didn't Barack Obama tell us he didn't know Hillary used a private email address?
Mr. President, when did you first learn that Hillary Clinton used an email system outside the U.S. government for official business while she was Secretary of State?
At the same time, everybody else learned it through news reports.
Liar! Unless he sent an email and didn't notice it didn't say state.gov. Either way, not good. And Hillary, she poo-pooed the whole thing over the weekend.
This is very much like Benghazi, George. You know, the Republicans are going to continue to use it, beat up on me. I understand that. That's the way they are. But after 11 hours of testimony, answering every single question in public, which I had requested for many months, I think it's pretty clear they're grasping at straws.
And Josh Earnest, White House spokesman on Friday, said this about Hillary being indicted.
Thanks, Josh. Staying with emails for just a moment, can you say with certainty and confidence that Secretary Clinton will not be indicted because of this email scandal?
That will be a decision that is made by the Department of Justice and prosecutors over there. What I know that some officials over there have said is that she is not a target of the investigation. That does not seem to be the direction that it's trending. But I'm certainly not going to weigh on a decision or in that process in any way. That is a decision to be made solely by independent prosecutors. But again, based on what we know from the Department of Justice, it does not seem to be headed in that direction.
Yeah, she won't be indicted. All right, let's watch Ted Cruz, then Steve King joins us.
Both Trump and Marco are attacking me. They're attacking me with all their might. And we're drawing contrasts. And the contrasts are clear. And the contrasts, by the way, are substantive and policy-based. Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders have the identical position on health care, which is they want to put the government in charge of you and your doctor. Now, my views are polar opposites of both of those. If I'm elected, there will be no amnesty. We will secure the border. And if I'm elected, we will repeal every word of Obamacare. And so that gives a clear and simple choice for the voters.
All right, and joining us is Congressman Steve King, a member of the Subcommittee on Immigration, Border Security, but most importantly, Congressman from the great state of Iowa. Hello, Congressman. How are you?
Hello, Steve. Well, I'm not worn out, but I'm worn down a little bit, but I'm still exhilarated at the same time. So it was caffeine this morning, and it's going to have to transition into
right. So when is that blizzard coming? Tonight? Oh, when it's all over?
It seems like it's time to be maybe around 11 o'clock tonight if it hits the central part of Iowa. So it looks like it's time that people will get to Caucus and get back home again. We're not certain, but that's what it looks like looking at the radars, right. And I think we'll be okay.
What do you expect to happen? Obviously, you're behind Ted Cruz. Donald Trump has called, by the way, the claim that he's in favor of Obamacare a total lie. But what do you expect to happen tonight? I mean, how important is it for Ted Cruz to win or at least finish second?
Well, I'm not very concerned about whether if it's just to finish first or second. I think he'll be just fine if that were the standard. And, he went to the top of the polls, and then all guns were trained on Ted Cruz, this game of political king of the hill, which is, it's brutal and bloody and ghastly here in the last few days of this campaign. But here's my prediction, Steve, and that is we're just an hour from the calling to order of these caucuses across the state, 1,600 and some of them all together. And I believe this, that if there's a huge turnout like we've never seen, a huge turnout, I guess I should say it that way,
right.
Then Donald Trump's got a great shot. And if it's just a big turnout, a record turnout, then it's Ted Cruz that'll walk away with this. And so I'm going to say this, Ed. I'm going to say I think the turnout's going to be around 135,000. And from there on down in numbers, Ted Cruz comes out of this with a victory. There on up, it gets more likely that it's Donald Trump.
Right.
And so that's my sense of what's taking place here. And I'm saying to people, and I think it's true, that the rest of them along on the polls, the rest of the way down, as much as you like them, if you want to vote, your vote to count. If you're for Trump, then, of course, that's how people will vote. But if you want someone other than Trump to win, and if you want a constitutional conservative to win, then your choice is Cruz. It's a binary decision, and the votes for the others along the line are far enough down that they don't have a shot at this.
Well, I wanted to ask you, what about the rise of Rubio? Do you believe there is a rise of Rubio and that he is a threat?
I just say I saw a rise of Rubio in the polls. It was a short blip, and flattened out, and it seems to be drifting back now. And I think Rubio's recognized that because he's pulled $1 million worth of advertising here in the state in the last few days. So I think that they've seen that in their numbers too, and they've got some kind of a strategy of finish third in Iowa and then go on to New Hampshire and try to stay in the game, maybe third there, maybe third in South Carolina, and hope to be alive after that. That's what I think is Rubio's strategy.
Let me ask you, Congressman, you've made accusations that I've seen, nothing specific. You say that Donald Trump, you say you know some things about Trump's endorsements. And when I think of endorsements, I think of Jerry Falwell Jr., I think of Sarah Palin and some others. Can you be more specific what you know about the endorsements and which endorsements?
Well, I've been very careful about how I say that because I want to be as precisely truthful and accurate and objective as I can be. But neither do I want to indict people along the way or make a statement that I can't support with record or fact. And what I've said, I stand on. I've been in a position where I've known some of the offers that have come, and I'll say this, that I've phrased it this way, that Donald Trump has an almost unlimited toolbox of resources. He's willing to deploy all of them, and some of them, most of those are carrots. And then he's also got the stick where he's not shy about going out and trying to destroy somebody if he disagrees with them or if they challenge him. And he demonstrated that when he came out and attacked Bob Vanderplots for his endorsement of Ted Cruz.
All right, but when you say that you know of offers, so you know of specific offers that have been made to specific people who have wound up either endorsing Trump or who have been asked to endorse Trump. You know of specifics.
That answer is yes, I do.
Okay, and you're not willing to tell us one though.
No, it's far better not to. That throws.
And what about what about threats? What about the stick? You know of threats?
Here is the things that we've seen. We've seen it in the Twitter account. He seems like he's obsessed with going on his computer at night and zapping out tweets attacking people constantly. And the example I gave of Bob Vanderplots, the head of the family leader, who was probably the lead social conservative in the state of Iowa.
Right.
And Donald Trump made allegations against him that they don't hold up in my estimation, but they were personal attacks. And I wondered, why did Donald Trump go so far? I mean, if he's doing that of a competitor that is a presidential candidate, then you kind of see they're on the same level.
Gotcha.
But if it's just somebody that endorsed Ted Cruz, why did he do that? He can't help himself.
All right.
But he will unleash on people personally.
Congressman, good to talk to you. Thanks for taking the time on a busy day. We'll speak to you soon.
You bet. Good to talk to you, Steve.
All right,
Thanks.
Congressman Stephen King.